Hey, welcome to another edition of Kyle Meredith with. It's the interview series presented by WFPK at WFPK.org. Consequence and the Consequence Podcast Network. Hey, thanks as always for making your way here, checking out the series. Please do hit that subscribe button. I put out 3 new interviews every single week. That's a new one every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So it's a great way to keep up with your favorite artist and discover some new ones, all the usual spots, including everywhere in podcast land. That's iTunes, Apple Podcast, that's Spotify, Podchaser, NPR, WFPK.org, or of course, right here on YouTube for the video versions. I'm Kyle Meredith. Today, my guest, Ken Marino. I could not be more excited at this. I've been such a fan of Ken, stretching back, of course, to MTV's The State, and have followed his career throughout the years since then. But today, we get to talk about Party Down. It's been 10 years since the cast of Party Down have been together. In fact, it feels like it's been a little bit over 10 years at this point. But thanks to fate, they have brought everybody back. And I mean, within the show itself, fate brings all the characters back together to do this dirty work once again. And we get to see what's happened to our favorite gang. How have they lived over the past decade? Have they developed as people? Luckily, I think for all of us, I can tell you the answer is not really. Not really. In fact, the hijinks are all still there. Honestly, watching this new season, like I of course I loved the first 2 seasons, and I remember laughing a lot then, but I really don't feel like I've laughed as hard watching this one as I have in a very, very long time. It's one of the funniest handful of episodes on television right now. That is a fact. My only complaint is at the moment there's only 6 episodes this season. So we're going to be talking to Ken about what it's like to put the Ron clothes back on, to put the Ron haircut back on. And get into what's happening this season. Of course, he directed an episode. His physical comedy is unmatched, and we'll see what's on the horizon as well. So let's jump into this right now. We're talking season 3 of Party Down, out now on Stars. It's Kyle Meredith with Ken Marino. Ken, this new season of Party Down, I really mean this. I have not laughed this hard in years. It's one of the funniest things I've seen.
Oh my gosh, that's great to hear. I haven't seen anything except the episode I directed, so that makes me feel really nice. I'm going to go home feeling great. I appreciate that.
So, what was it like? What's it like getting back into the mindset of a character like Ron?
I feel like Ron has never fully left me. He's always been sitting in the back of my head, waiting to come out again. Much like when a serial killer takes a little time off and it was great. I think we've been trying to get something going for a number of years, and we kept hitting these dead ends, and then finally, Stars came and said, hey, let's do these episodes. And it was just exciting news. And so to get to do Ron again was, as cliche as it sounds, a gift. It was great.
Even with the hair, I mean, you've got to grow your hair back out, but the haircut that comes along with it, is that also a gift?
There's something, you know what? I like cutting my hair short from time to time, especially when I'm getting paid to do it. And so, I don't know if you've noticed, but in the work that I've done in different shows, I like to do different hairstyles. That's fun for me.
Right.
And so, yeah, I didn't mind doing Ron's haircut again. I mean, it's styled in such a way for Ron. When I'm not Ron, I can, push it over a little bit, do something. It's not too far off from like your haircut,
Right. Well,
maybe a little tighter on the side. But then you push it over,
That's what you do. It goes the other way.
You could do a Ron cut if you wanted to, but like just now, you could just fake a Ron thing.
That's probably it.
Square it off.
But I'm not getting paid for it, and that's the big difference. Like my wife wouldn't
pay you for it. That's what I'm getting at. I will pay you top dollar.
I'm in my 40s now, and I will do anything for money. I've learned that. That's
all right.
No, but it's interesting though, seeing everyone 10 years later, whatever it's been, because there's still so much desperation, and of course I think that's what makes these characters, is that desperation. But coming back, I mean, and I don't know the conversation you all had, but like, is there, I don't know, do you talk about character growth or anything like that, or do you just go right back to what we remember?
I think that there's a balance, right? You want to show some progress, or you want to kind of at least think about like what was this guy or gal doing the last 10 years? But for me, when I did kind of dive into that, I thought that Ron is the type of guy who is, very, his goals are very singular. He wants to own a business, and he wants to kind of get into the ownership class, right? And so that's never changed for him from when we first meet him until now. So what's happened the last 10 years? Well, he probably took like 1 or 2 steps forward and 22 steps back, and a bunch of bad things has happened to him. But, with Ron's mentality, he constantly pushes forward. He never stops believing. And so, he probably doubled down and tripled down and quadrupled down on what his determination during this time that we haven't seen him. And so, he's older, but his goals remain the same. You know what I mean? And his drive and his passion are probably goosed a little bit more because he can hear Father Time ticking away,
Yeah. That's one of the reasons why we love him. I mean, for all the blunders, you just love the belief that man has, or at least I do anyway.
Well, I appreciate that. That is, certainly the goal for, kind of the balance that we're trying to capture with Ron, which is, he's a maniac and puts his foot in his mouth, and he's a jerk sometimes, but like you see where it's all coming from, and it's coming from as distorted as it is, a good place.
Yeah.
You got a big heart.
Right. And let me say, your physical comedy is so good time and time again. When did that come for you? I mean, is that something you practice at, or is that sort of in there?
Physical comedy?
Yeah, because you've always been so good at it. It's one thing I appreciate about you anyway.
I mean, thank you. I appreciate that. It goes back to the State days, and maybe even before that, of the type of comedians I liked when I was growing up as a kid. But I've always enjoyed physical comedy. I always think that if you can somehow layer that into a scene in a organic, real way, it gives it a little extra something. So it goes back to the State, and we did a lot of sketches and a lot of different characters, and a lot of that stuff was big and broad, or certainly what I brought to that group. I liked to do bigger physical things, visual things, and so that style of acting, or that part of it, is always something that's in my DNA for some reason.
Yeah. By the way,
so
seeing you guys with the Viva Variety thing, I mean, for us fans, anytime seeing you guys together, it always brings it up. Are they going to do more? Are you going to do more?
Look, that group is a big group. Those are my brothers and sister, and I love them dearly. And if we get to do something else, that'd be great. But I mean, the truth is we've been doing stuff in smaller incarnations throughout the years. So, it's been happening. It just hasn't been called the State. And I hope one day we just do a pure State project again. But there's a lot of people in that group, and so it's just hard to corral everybody together.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, I've loved seeing this one. And you, as you mentioned, you directed the Luau episode.
I did, yeah.
Which must have been like, to switch hats like that. Is that easy for you?
I enjoy it. I thoroughly enjoy it. It becomes a big blur because just the way I like to direct, and especially when I'm in something, is to just keep moving around, and like kind of just keep trying to generate as much material as possible, and to get the best stuff on film or video. And so it feels like a big blur to me now. But I love doing it. I'm not intimidated or overwhelmed by directing something that I'm in. I actually I kind of encourage it, and I want it. I want to experience that.
Well, again, this has been so much fun watching this. I hope to God there are more seasons that come after this too. Ken, yeah.
From your lips to whoever's ears.
Thank you so much for taking the
From your
time.
lips to stars' ears.
Stars ears, I'll take that. Sir, it has been an absolute pleasure.
Pleasure's been mine. Thank you.
And thanks to my guest. Also, thanks to you for checking out the episode in the series. Before you get out of here, hit that subscribe button. Again, you get 3 brand new interviews every single week. New one every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at right here on YouTube, or of course anywhere in podcast land, including iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podchaser, NPR, or WFPK.org as well. A great way to keep up with your favorite artists and discover new ones as well. Then after that, actually head over to WFPK.org. That's where I do a show Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. It's an hour full of song premieres, music news, anniversary spins, bonus interviews, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern at WFPK.org. Consequence has your music and film news. You can also find me on the social media spots, Facebook, Instagram, mostly on Twitter. All 3 of them, the address is at Kyle Meredith. Do hope you like and follow along. That does it for another edition. I'm Kyle Meredith. I'll see you next time.